I knew tonight was going to be filled with major trade news, and so far it has not disappointed. We have one of the biggest deals in NBA history, player-wise, that has went down. And when I say biggest, I'm talking about the amount of players that have been involved in the deal. Now, this trade also immediately affects the playoffs. No matter how much any other Western Conference team might want to admit it, the Rockets look scary. And I know, it's tough to say because they haven't been the greatest team, but they've been playing pretty well as of late. And without Clint Capella, this is a team that is looking to play fast and play small. I honestly thought if this trade happened, it would end up costing the Rockets more. I didn't know they would make out like bandits, but here we are. The Rockets looking geared up and ready. They get the change they needed, and they also get their guy. This video, we're going to be talking about the mega trade that could potentially end up bringing D'Angelo Russell to the Minnesota Timberwolves. If not now, then maybe in the future. But also, we will be talking about Cat's savage reaction. There are going to be so many trades, so many rumors, and the fun part is, we're just getting started. With that being said, guys, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You will not want to miss another D-Coop video, and that's facts. I'm trying to get to 200,000 subscribers so I can go full time and bring you guys daily content. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You guys know the deal. This is the segment of the video where I reply to the first question that was in the comments of the last video. Do you think the LA Lakers need a shooter? If so, then who? I think the Lakers can use a shooter for sure, but what I think they could use more is a playmaking shooter. I'm not sure the Lakers are severely lacking shooting, but I do think they're lacking that perimeter threat outside of LeBron James that can go out and fill it up from deep. Don't get me wrong, they do have some talented players on the roster who are capable of stepping up at times, but I would love to see the Lakers go out and get somebody like a Buddy Hield, who seems like he could be starting to get frustrated in Sacramento, or maybe a David Bertans or a Marcus Morris, even though I know Morris is unlikely because of the whole clutch situation. And again, I'm not just talking about a shooter, I'm talking about somebody that can shoot the ball, but also score in high volumes. With that being said, guys, be sure to follow my IG, handle G like Coop. You will not want to miss another post. The NBA trade deadline is ridiculous. Woj reports Houston gets Robert Covington, Atlanta gets Clint Capella and Nene, Minnesota gets Malik Beasley, Hernan Gomez, Evan Turner, Atlanta's first round pick from the Nets, Denver gets Gerald Green and Houston's first round pick. Immediately, a few things I noticed in this trade. Gerald Green and Houston's first round pick is not great value for the Denver Nuggets, at least in my opinion. I really don't care about the Rockets' first round pick. I don't think it's going to be good. But the Nuggets are such a good drafting team that, again, it could end up being good for the Nuggets. Now, we swing over to Minnesota. This team gets Malik Beasley and Hernan Gomez. Malik Beasley is an insanely good player in the league who's going to be so good when he gets an expanded role. And I think casual fans don't know exactly how good Malik Beasley is. This is somebody I have followed since college who can score the ball, great athlete, great shooter, efficient player. And not only is he all of those things, but he's a capable and willing defender. Now, Denver wasn't going to end up with Malik Beasley long term, and his contract was almost up, so it's understandable why Denver wanted to move him and why Malik also wanted to be moved. This is somebody that does not need to be ball dominant, can play off the ball, can play on the ball. I like what I've seen out of him. Now, it's easy to forget that the Minnesota Timberwolves are making this trade for good reason. They, in my opinion, still have their eyes set on D'Angelo Russell, despite what reports say. For those of you guys that have not heard the reports, I'm going to start off by reading this one out. Earlier, it was reported that Minnesota was orchestrating a 3-team trade with Houston and Atlanta in hopes of ultimately landing D'Angelo Russell. They wanted to make this trade again for D'Lo. That's what Woj said earlier, and that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick with that. There was also another report that said if D'Angelo Russell is to go to Minnesota, Wiggins has to be involved in the deal no matter what. Every discussion has had Andrew Wiggins in it, and I honestly don't think that's the biggest of deals. But I know what you're thinking. Coop, where is the problem? This is where the problem comes in. Shams said Golden State is moving on from D'Angelo Russell conversations with the Minnesota Timberwolves at this juncture. Warriors have been clear on the price point, and the Timberwolves to this point are not willing to meet it. Now, with this Houston trade going down and this big deal with all of these pieces, Cat is feeling some type of way. And I'm showing you guys pictures of Cat's reaction right now. These are not photoshopped pictures. I don't know if he's going to keep these up. I don't know if he's going to leave these up, but these are pictures from Cat's IG story. Now, immediately, I'm taking this one of two ways. Either he's trolling, which I think is the most likely situation, because I'm sure Cat knows what the Wolves have in mind, and I'm sure Cat wants to troll everybody into thinking that, oh, this sucks, this isn't the right move, this isn't the right trade. He has to know the Wolves are doing this with a purpose. The Wolves are not making any trades that Cat is not signing off on. And I truly believe that because they want to retain Cat at all costs. And I'm sure that's why they're going through the links that they are to get D'Angelo Russell. Now, if you want to be a negative person, you could view this as the Timberwolves have absolutely no idea what's going on. Completely incompetent franchise. Does not know what they're doing. Does not know what's best for Karl-Anthony Towns. They have completely botched the future, failed rebuild, failed attempt at trying to build around Cat because you have Evan Turner, who is a miserable contract. But of course, if they don't get Evan Turner, they're not getting everything they get in return. Sometimes teams have to take bad contracts to acquire assets in order to get good players. Fortunate for the Timberwolves, they were a team that was in a position to do this. And again, I think they're doing all this with a master plan. You guys can disagree down in the comments below, and I would respect that. But the interesting thing is that Evan Turner's contract is expiring soon, which in some situations is something that teams seek out because they want to clear cap space for the future. So again, you can actually look at this as a positive move all around for the Timberwolves. I think they came out pretty well. I think the Timberwolves came out great in this trade. Now we move on to the Houston Rockets. Actually, let's move on to Atlanta. Atlanta gets Clint Capella and Nene. Now, Clint Capella is going to continue doing the same thing that he did for the Houston Rockets, which is catching lobs, playing defense, and being that anchor down low. I think this is great for Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks because they needed somebody like this, and this enables John Collins to not have to worry about playing that 5 position, which went really poorly for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I wanted to see the Hawks go after Drummond. They don't get Drummond, but Clint Capella, one of the best rebounders in the league, again, good defender. I wanted to say elite, can be elite at times on the defensive end of the basketball. The offensive rebounding should help the Hawks offense even more. And the lob threat that they are going to get alongside John Collins is going to be phenomenal for Trae Young. Another player with some gravity rolling to the basket. So you have to respect the rolls. You have to respect the finishes. Sometimes Clint's hands aren't the best, but he is a pretty solid finisher around the rim. Big get for the Atlanta Hawks, but at the same time, I hope they aren't going win now too fast. And again, I don't really think they gave up the most, so it's not a really bad deal for them by any metric, at least in my opinion. Finally, we have the Houston Rockets who get just Robert Covington. Insane defender. The Rockets have been playing so well without Clint Capella. I can't stress that enough. Their small ball has been working. It has been creating elite spacing for Russell Westbrook, who is playing at an MVP type level. Big time player, has the MVP award that he's won before, And he still has something to prove to the rest of the league. Not only does this create spacing for Russell Westbrook, but this creates spacing for James Harden. And this gives them a player who can legit go out and guard all 5 positions. I think the Rockets can be absolutely ridiculous with this small ball lineup going into the playoffs. It's going to be tough, though, to match up with the bigger teams in the Western Conference who are the better teams. But so far, the lineup has been working well for the Rockets, and Covington is so good on defense. I can't stress this enough. When Karl-Anthony Towns went down, the Timberwolves became the 3rd best defense in the entire NBA. That's how much of an impact a player like Robert Covington has. He's also somebody that can score the ball for Houston. Love the trade so much. Not the most consistent of scorers, but he can score, can shoot from all over the floor, not just a corner specialist like PJ Tucker. Let me know what you guys thought of the trades down in the comments below. Be sure to click the video on the screen right now, guys. It's me going over D'Angelo Russell and Karl-Anthony Towns, that trade, and more information about that. I'm D Coop. Be sure to subscribe, notice on, and I'm out.